From K2TV Wyoming's sports leader, here's this week's Friday Night Fastbreak with Philip Bonatti and Hallie Jones.
Welcome to the premiere of the Friday Night Fastbreak. I'm proud to be joined by a former state champion in basketball. Welcome, Hallie.
Thank you, Phil. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Conference play on the hardwood on all levels. This season is just getting good, and our season, Friday Night Fastbreak, is officially started. That's right. Each week we dive into a featured game of the week, and we will start with the Casper College men's and women's team. We'll dive right into the Lady T-Birds' first 12-4 record, a team known for their defense. You ready for the highlight, Hallie? Are you ready, Phil?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
All right, T-Birds taking on Central Wyoming College. We're going to see the first play here. Casper College on defense. What do you see here in the half court? How CWC held to 10 points? Well, you see Casper College. They're pressuring the ball. They're not allowing anyone to cut, deny. They're just in there, and, I mean, look at that. Shot clock violation. They were able to determine there. Play two, though. Casper on offense. You're going to see a lot in the low post. We're going to see a finish from Maria Baina in the low. You can just tell she knows what she's doing. She knows she's not too far underneath the basket. She sits the girl on her hip, and then she gets the bucket. And then, of course, you're going to see her wide open from Julia Cucco. How do you see her getting that? I mean, did you see that miscommunication on the pick and roll? There you go. She was wide open there, and Casper College, an obvious really good team on the three-point line, but a dominant performance there from the ladies. Let's hear from head coach Dwight Gennari after the game.
You know, I thought we contained the dribble really well there, which is important because they have two or three really good scorers. And I think the key to that is we just give them one shot. You know, it was one and done. We rebounded really well. They had a better offensive half in the second half, and a lot of that was because we didn't rebound as well.
Well, you just heard from head coach Dwight Gennari about his team's win, and now we're going to talk about the men's team, T-Birds, a team that leads in top 5 nation in blocks, rebounds, and points per game. That tells me that they run the ball pretty well as far as on transition. Hallie, what were you looking at in the first half watching the team? Absolutely, Phil. Transition-wise, the T-Birds know exactly what they need to do. They run the floor very well, and with their length, the height that they have on defense, they're able to get those blocks and rebound the ball and run the floor. However, with that said, they like to spread it out, and sometimes they're a little selfish. They need to pass the ball a little bit quicker because they do have their guys running the floor. We saw Brock, he threw it to James, and he was able to get that nice alley-oop, but you have to reward those big guys when they do run the floor. They are spreading it, which I think is kind of getting Central a little confused as to what they're doing and why Central is getting beat, even on the half-court offense. But, I mean, transition-wise, if you're leading in all three of those or in the top 5 in JUCO, I mean, no wonder they are able to have 59 points in the first quarter. Now Central did bring it, they have a deficit of about 25 points now, but Central did bring it to about 5 points. They're making a lot of threes, making some good shots here and there. They were working that half-court offense, kind of breaking Casper College a little bit down in that first half, obviously then the 15-0 run. But talk about what Central was doing well in that time period. Well, I think Central, they're not losing as bad as the score's saying. They have some silly turnovers, but they're shooting the ball very well, and they move the ball decently around the perimeter. They have some nice in and outs from their point guards when they're dribbling and they're attacking. But with that being said, I think they're a little scared with the size that Casper College does have, and so they just need to work on those turnovers. Central's playing very well with the T-Birds. Obviously, the T-Birds are dominating on multiple fronts, but Central's doing just fine. You mentioned the size difference between the two teams. I mean, we knew Casper College was going to be kind of favored in this game based off the size difference that they had, but just talk about why size is such a big factor for Casper College and why they're up by 20 plus. Well, I mean, they are top 5 in blocks. When you block the ball, obviously you can help do that transition defense, but then also on terms of rebounding, Central, what they're getting stuck with when Casper College is doing their half-court offense is they're fronting their big mans. Obviously, you have to. They're stronger than them. They're taller, so you have to front. But then on the weak side, on defense, they're not coming over and they're not being there and trapping the ball. That size on Casper College, I think, is intimidating for a lot of these other junior colleges that don't have that, but there's a lot of ways. Get them the ball, make them put it on the floor, get in there, and they're good with getting those steals when they do put it on the floor. Their leading scorer at Casper College, Isaac Bonton, only has 6 points in the game. He got in some early foul trouble, yet they're able to be up by 25 points. We mentioned that they have 6 scorers in double digits on average on the season, so a lot of the production is spread around. And talk about how they can overcome Bonton being out for a while with those 2 early fouls and being able to help him.
I think it was interesting because, as we know, Brock transferred from Central Wyoming to Casper College, and in the first half he was trying to dominate, and he did. I don't know how many points he actually ended with, but he was running the floor, he was really looking, he was hitting shots, he was hitting threes, he was driving to the basket, finding the bucket. But Central just needs to capitalize on their leading scorer being out. Casper College is having some silly fouls on the perimeter. Both teams aren't doing a very good job at closing out. They, for whatever reason, feel the need to jump and try and get that block. Don't jump, close out, hand down, man down, and just keep playing basketball.
Well, there's your first half analysis. So now we go back to the studio, to us, for the second half highlights.
And Hallie, we saw in that second half more of the same. You had a few plays we wanted to highlight. First one we're going to show you is that transition really in action. We're going to see a missed shot here, and we're going to take a look at Wilfred Lakai on the backside, coming off an ankle surgery, and he's going to get the dunk there. What did you see? We're going to see that replay again.
So normally when you close out, someone gets back, and obviously he's supposed to get back, but then no one got back on Central Wyoming. So there you go. That's why, if you see it here again, he gets back. It looks like he's cherry picking. I know you kind of thought that, but like no one else is back with him. He throws it up and then he gets the dunk. So there's that.
Now, Hallie, they did have it on both speeds. Oh, there we go. We see the replay again. Obviously, we had that pause stop again as well, but Lakai is doing a really good job of picking his spot there to go back in the. And
that was a good closeout because, as you heard me earlier saying, a lot of them were jumping to close out, and there was no need.
Now let's go to the half-court offense here, and we're going to see a couple pause points here. And Zion Tordif is going to find a man inside. We'll talk about what's going on.
Okay, so Central Wyoming, they finally got the defense going because did you see that? Someone came over from the weak side, and then if you stop it here, they just didn't get back, and then there you go.
Hampshire with the dunk there. It was that same recipe, scoring 118 points, winning by 46 points without Isaac Bronton in the first half on foul trouble. Here's Coach Russell on that.
He's got to be a little bit smarter defensively and not pick up a couple cheap ones, so he plays extended minutes or the normal minutes that he does play. But him on top of a couple other guys are capable of having big nights offensively, and we're lucky to have. But he was pretty good tonight. He's a pretty special player offensively.